Hello, Acadia Pirates. Today we're going to be reading Chapter 3 of The Treasure Tree. So here we go. Giggles and the Crystal Cove Clam, Chapter 3. Now the four best friends were eager to find the second key, so off they went to Crystal Cove, the next stop on the map. "Are we really going all the way to the ocean?" Honey asked excitedly. "I've never been to the beach." "I haven't either," said Giggles. "I can't wait to build sand castles and play with a beach ball and go for a walk with a crab and shake hands and hands and hands with an octopus and jump in the water and—" "Wait a minute," said Chewy. "Remember, we're looking for the treasure key, not a playground. The map says key number 2 is by the sea, hidden away where no one can see." "That's right," said Lance. "Look, there's the ocean." The four best friends stopped as they came out of the forest. Down below them they could see the beautiful blue waters of Crystal Cove. To the right, a steep trail led down to the beach. "Let's go!" shouted Lance, and he started down the trail with the other animals right behind him. Giggles was the last one in line going down the steep trail. She was looking at the beautiful water far away and not watching where she was going. That's why she tripped right over the big seashell. What happened next was like pushing over a row of dominoes. Giggles fell into Chewy the beaver, who fell into Honey the golden retriever, who fell into Lance the lion. "Whoa!" they cried, but no one could stop. Spinning faster and faster they rolled together down the hill like big, colorful balls, then plop! They landed right on their heads in the sand. "That was great!" shouted Giggles, getting up with a smile and brushing the sand from her clothes. "Let's do that again." "Well, I guess that tumble did get us to the beach quicker," said Chewy. "Now we're even ahead of schedule." "Is anybody hurt?" asked Honey. "I'll tell you who's going to be hurt if I catch her," said Lance with a smile, chasing after Giggles in a playful game of tag. Then Honey reminded them they needed to look for the key, hidden away where no one can see. This wasn't going to be easy. After all, what you can't see can be very difficult to find. So the four animals began searching the beach at Crystal Cove for the second treasure key. Lance began jogging up and down the beach to see if he could spot a clue, and to get some exercise at the same time. Honey and Giggles were right down to the water's edge. Giggles played tag with a sand crab, and Honey visited a family of seagulls. Then suddenly they heard a horrible scream from down the beach. It was Chewy. The beaver had discovered a mystery, or actually, the mystery had discovered him. As he was trying to measure just how long the beach was in beaver feet, splash! He was hit in the face with a big squirt of water. "What was that?" he said to himself, looking around for someone who had squirted him. But the only thing nearby was a very large rock. "Rocks can't squirt water," he thought, looking at it closely. Chewy was right. Rocks can't squirt water, but a clam can. Especially the biggest, most gigantic clam in all of Crystal Cove. Not only can a clam squirt water, but sometimes it can do other things even more troublesome. Chewy heard a loud creak, like an old door with rusty hinges opening. Then snap! The giant clam had opened its mouth and snapped it shut, right on Chewy's tail. "Yow!" came the beaver's loud cry. "Let go of me! Get me out of here!" shouted the beaver. Then the three friends got to Chewy. They found not one, but two big problems. Their best friend had his tail caught by a gigantic clam, and the tide was beginning to come in. Wave by wave, the ocean was getting closer. "I'll get him out," cried Lance, and with all his strength he pushed and pulled, but nothing happened. Honey tried to encourage Chewy. She held the beaver's hand and said, "Don't worry, it'll be better soon. you're being so brave." This helped the beaver not to be so scared, but it didn't open the clam's jaws. "The water's coming closer," shouted a very tired Lance. "We've got to think of another way to get the clam's jaws open." "I know how to get the clam to open up its mouth," the hopeful Otter said. "How?" said the others. "I'll tell him some of my jokes, and then when he's laughing, Chewy can get his tail free." "Jokes at a time like this?" said Chewy. "Trust me," Giggles said. "I know lots of jokes, but I'll use only my very best on this clam." The Otter's friends rolled their eyes and shook their heads, but Giggles started telling her best jokes. Just be thankful you aren't reading a story where she shared her worst jokes. "All right, Clam, what side of a rabbit has the most fur? The right side or the left side?" "No, it's the outside," she said, bursting into laughter, but not even a chuckle came from the clam. Okay, how about this one? What is the most musical fish?" "A tuna fish! Get it?" she said, doubling over with laughter. "It's not working!" cried Chewy, as he watched the water coming closer. "Not to worry," said Giggles. "This next one will work. It always works." "What happens when ducks fly upside down?" "They quack up." At last, from deep down inside the clamshell came a rumble. Then a chuckle shook the clam, but he did not open his mouth and laugh. Giggles was discouraged for only a moment. Then, suddenly, she shouted, "I've got it now! I know what will get that old clam to open up!" And off she ran down the beach. Quick as a flash, Giggles was back with a feather from one of the seagulls. Honey, the loyal golden retriever, was still by Chewy's side, but the water was getting higher, and Lance was still trying to force the clam to open his mouth. "Stand aside," said Giggles, holding up the feather. "This will do the trick." And through the little crack that was made as the clam held the beaver's tail, the Otter stuck in the feather and began to wiggle it around. Now, any kind of tickle can make you laugh. In fact, you might want to try a tickle right now. But a feather tickle is the most ticklish of all. And sure enough, the clam began to chuckle, and then to laugh, and finally the clam's mouth flew open wide, and Chewy the beaver was free. "Hooray!" they all cheered. "Look!" shouted Honey. "It's the key!" And in the clam's mouth, hidden away where no one could see, they found another golden key. Now the four best friends were halfway to the treasure tree. The first key was found by the lion's quick thinking and determined personality. The second key was won by the otter's joyful and hopeful ways. That left only two more keys, and key number 3 would be perhaps the hardest to find. And that's the end for today.